Grand Prix of Figure Skating Final 2025 with pairs short program. During the event, as a courtesy to our skaters, would kindly ask that you please refrain from flash photography and video camera lighting. Get ready. The ISU Grand Prix of Figure Skating Final 2025 is coming up.
Welcome everyone to Nagoya, Japan, the fourth largest city in Japan of just about 2.3 million. It is the Senior Grand Prix final. It is the top 6 in each discipline. It is the best of the best going head to head as we close out the first half of the skating season. Welcome into the brand new arena here in Nagoya as we take a look at the temple. Such a beautiful city, a beautiful day. And there is a look soon at the new arena here in Japan. Of course, the host of so many big international figure skating events. As we take a look at the IG Arena, I'm Ted Barton, along with my friend and colleague and resident expert Mark Hanratty, as we get you set for this much anticipated event, the Senior Pairs Short Program. Mark, welcome on board.
Yeah, and it is much anticipated, this Senior Pairs Short Program, as you say, Ted, and there are so many aligning exciting factors. It's not just the Grand Prix final, it's the Grand Prix final in an Olympic season, and it's taking place in a nation that has so much love, appreciation and respect for our amazing sport. That makes it a hotbed of intensity, further enhanced by the fact that the world champions Miura and Kihara are competing the last to skate in this competition, so it could not be a more thrilling palette of excitement to come in this Pairs Short Program.
We'll talk a little bit more about this throughout all these senior events, is the importance of this event. Now, this is not a qualifying berth for the Olympic Games, but there are many contenders for Olympic medals that are here. And will it make a difference if they win, if they are on the podium here versus their chase for Olympic gold?
And we do really have in the pairs field, I believe the pairs discipline is one of the 4 events in our sport that is the most tricky to predict the Olympic podium.
True.
And that makes it very, very exciting, but it also applies even greater pressure and stress to the athletes on screen now. We have in this field 2/3 of the 6 teams that have had medals on the World Championship stage already, but there are only 3 medals to be awarded at the Olympic Games, so everybody is after not just an Olympic medal, but of course the greatest prize of all, the Olympic gold.
And as you notice on that screen, there are 6 flags, and none of them were a repeat. They were all from different countries. Unusual.
It's so unusual and such a confirmation as we see the names of the judges who will decide the fates of the skaters competitively. Such confirmation of the diversity in pairs within this Olympic cycle. And hopefully what that will mean is that education and the knowledge that has been amassed by those different nations will then continue on for next subsequent generations as we look ahead.
Well, it's nice to have seen this discipline spread around the world. Now, there are not a lot of different pair training centers, but there are a lot of different countries participating in those centers, as we saw the 6 nations that will be represented here in the Pairs Short Program. We count down to the introduction of our teams. This is such a great opening, isn't it?
Oh, it's rousing. It really is. And the challenge now with this exciting Kido drum music is, how do the skaters now maintain their blood pressure and their heart rate?
Exactly. Yeah, keep calm, but get excited is at the same time. And it's such a fine balance as we look backstage before these athletes are brought onto the ice for their introduction. Big smiles of excitement. Our first team representing Hungary, Maria Pavlova, Alexei Savchenko.
A little confusion there with the men's short program titled up, but we're definitely, although it doesn't say it on the screen there, we're definitely in the pairs discipline.
Yeah, that's a little bit of, do I go or do I not? Here we go as they take center ice, and a big production. It's exciting to be in this building. It's a beautiful new building just built in July. This is only the 3rd event in this facility. There is Diana Stiletto-Dudek and Maxime Deschamps from Canada. Seasoned veterans, world champions a few years back. And the next team representing Georgia, Anastasia Montokina and Luka Burulova. Not a new team, but sort of new to seniors. Junior champions last year, 4th in the world in senior, and here they are challenging for a senior Grand Prix medal.
Yes, and I think when we look at Montokina and Burulova coming onto the ice now, they are, what in the sporting terminology could be considered the dark horse, because we have, obviously on this warm-up, sharing the ice with them, the likes of Stiletto-Dudek and Deschamps, who are former world champions. We have in the next group, Conti Machi, world medalists many times. We have Miura and Kihara, and there are lots of the skaters that are all world medalists. However, Metalkina and Berolava, I don't think are just in the mix for a medal at this event and a medal at the Olympic Games, but based on what we've seen in practice, they could very much be in the conversation for the greatest accolade of all, the Olympic gold. They did, however, struggle in their second Grand Prix, and perhaps they felt that pressure of the discussion happening within the venue.
Well, sometimes those moments are a blessing in disguise. You don't know at the moment, you don't feel it at the moment, you don't believe in that at the moment, but they sharpen you up.
Yes, yes. As we look now to Maria Pavlova and Alexei Sviatchenko, who come in to this event lowest ranked with the lowest scores, but a team that has made meteoric progression. And watching them in practice earlier today was astounding to me. Seeing them practice compulsory ice dances
Yes.
in practice, confirmation of their awareness of the need to improve their program component scores, and they're obviously being very conscientious in their approach to improving their second mark.
And the other teams took notice of that.
Yeah.
You know, that compulsory dance and the edge work that they were displaying in the practice session as we take a look at the twists right there.
Oh, a lovely segue to the site of Diana Stellato-Dudek. And I had previously in other commentary experiences felt a little bit guilty about continually referring the statement that Diana is the oldest world champion in our sport. But she rightly owns that as a badge of honor. And now at 42 years young, she continues to push. Last year, she and partner Maxime struggled a little bit, but this year they are absolutely back and they're pushing themselves, including the likes of the backflip, which we will see within the context of their choreography.
They've been redesigned and reinvigorated, if you will, through some of the work of Laurie Nickel, a great choreographer, and they were really exciting early on in the season. We'll see if they can continue that as they move along, but it's so interesting. And you're right, that is a badge of honor. That's nothing in the negative. Her age to do what she does at the level she's at, it's extraordinary.
And you know, hearing interviews with Diana, she talks about her obsessive study of the sport by frame analysis of others, and that I'm sure part of the reason that she's excelled so brilliantly in becoming a pair skater.
And a look at Anastasia Melkina and Luka Barilova of Georgia. They are spectacular technical elements and are improving in the program components. Mark?
And as we look ahead to this event, of course the result here could very well simply be the couple that delivers. It could be, you know, over the course of the short program and the free skate, simply who skates cleanly, because Metalkina and Berolava on screen now have not managed to deliver the absolute crystal clean skates. But should they all go clean, then where this team excels is some of the grade of execution quality. For those, you know, there may be those viewers that will know the criteria for the judges to give the greater marks. But the simplest one to me to ascertain for the avid viewer, the new viewer, is the sense of effortlessness. Effortlessness is a buzzword and criteria for more points across all the elements, and in practice, they showcase that.
No question, they carry great speed into and out of their elements, but as you mentioned, this is one of the risky disciplines. Anything can happen with a throw, or it's side-by-side jumps, or even a lift. So no matter how brilliant you are, you've got like an obstacle course to get through.
And you know, as you said, when they entered into the venue, how can they utilize the energy of the arena? Now, it's not full, it's not a sellout yet today, but just the enormity of the occasion. And we've been watching juniors earlier today in the Junior Grand Prix final, and we've talked about how they come to terms with the novelty of this experience. But despite the skaters on screen having experienced this kind of occasion before, that doesn't belie the fact that this is hard to come. You can't practice this kind of experience with this kind of energy, as we see Anastasia Metalkina just trying to come to terms with her adrenaline.
And these seniors have competed in big arenas with a big audience, but this venue itself is something, yes, it's a new venue, but it's a jewel. Like, there's something special about the lighting, about the boards, about the excitement, and we'll see. But, you know, that's Olympic-like, that's World Championship-like, and that's good to have here at the Grand Prix final.
And as you mentioned, you know, that word, it's the Olympic season. That has never been a greater spotlight on the humans on screen now. This is, you know, the eyes of our skating world are upon them, of course. fans of the sport have been following the Grand Prix series, but hopefully the whole sporting fan world will be descending upon to look upon these athletes now, and they'll be mindful of the fact that they're going to be more closely scrutinized and judged than ever as Diana Stellato nails the throw triple loop and Maxime nods in approval.
Well, these teams are on the road to their lifelong dream as little skaters, little children, thinking about not even knowing what the Olympic dream was, but seeing it, watching it, being inspired by it, living it, and now the road is very, very close.
Well, it's interesting you referenced the Olympic dream because, you know, so many of the athletes are young. For Diana Stellato, her goal was to compete in the Olympics in Italy in 2006 as a single skater. 20 years later, she's going to now, most likely, all being well, compete at an Olympics back in Italy, but in a different discipline.
Well said. As we get started with the senior events, the senior pair short program, as the other skaters leave the ice, and we get ready for our first team. They represent Hungary, Maria Pavlova, Alexei Shevchenko.
And as I mentioned, Maria and Alexei come into this as the lowest ranked of the 6 teams, but they come in with personal bests from their most recent competitions, and they are upward ascending.
They have a 73.04 season's best in the short program, earning that at the NHK Trophy right here in Japan a little earlier in the season. They will skate to Earth Song by Michael Jackson.
What about sunrise? What about rain? What about all things that you said we were to gain? What about killing? Is there a time? What about nothing that you said was yours and mine? Did you ever stop to notice?
Comfortably opening with the split triple twist.
Did you ever stop to notice this crying earth, this weeping storm?
Wonderful musicality on the triple flip throw, followed up with a back rocker turn. Difficult transitions as well. This is crucial. And nailed. Side-by-side triple toe loops. Maria and Alexei have really showcased progression, working on the skating skills as showcased in the step sequence.
That was a nice start to this pair short program, Mark.
Maria Pavlova and Alexei Shevchenko from Hungary have just laid down, and although they are not in the discussion as readily for medals, they have now delivered a performance that others will have to skate cleanly to beat, really. And the continued ascendance of this team, proven by that program. And as I mentioned, while they did the step sequence, their conscientious approach to progression is just so evident.
Well, that's a big boost for their season coming up. They've got the important competitions, of course, the most important ones in their lives coming up in the next few months. But what a great, not so much start, but mid-season performance.
And actually, this from Maria and Alexei certainly now makes me consider them as at very least European medalists as well. That's something that they've been just narrowly missing out on over the past 3 years.
What about sunrise? What about rain?
And here, good split.
What about
All 4 features achieved. The clean catch, the drop of the arms.
what about
And actually interesting composition choice with the throw triple lutz as the second element, leaving this, the triple toes, to the third element, and almost ever so slightly pitched forward from Alexei.
did you ever stop to
Nevertheless, cleanly
notice
delivered.
all the blood we shed before?
So wonderful score sheet for Maria and Alexei as we see the inputs of the technical panel, because it's a level 4 on the twist, group 5 lift, step sequence and change combo spin, just dropping 1 level on the back inside death spiral. So otherwise, just a masterful delivery.
I think this was what their best program of the season so far. Of course, gaining confidence and experience. We'll see what happens in the Prix program, but great start to this event. 73.04 is their season's best. We'll see how close they come to that, but they will set the bar, at least for themselves, a little bit higher. They anxiously wait for the score, because what is their anticipation? They know they had a great program, perhaps their best program this season, that short program. Let's take a look. Here are the scores, 72.84. They're the first team out. You can see them nod and go, okay, that's not too bad. Not too bad. Not what they wished for. But the hearts are still there.
They did their job, and they did their job well.
Very well. There is our next team, former world champions from 2024 from Canada, Diana Stellato-Dudek and Maxime Deschamps.
And Diana and Maxime have conscientiously through the off-season done all they can to put themselves back in the mix, and this program to me is arguably their best ever short program.
Some great work done by choreographer Laurie Nichol to reset this team as they will skate the short program to Carmina Burana.
Step out of the triple toe for Max. Doing all she can to fight to stick the landing of the throw triple loop. Superb synchronicity in the change foot combo spin. Groundbreaking movement coming up. Good salvation job just at the very tail end of the death spiral there, as Diana Stellato-Dudek and Maxime Deschamps take the applause from the arena.
Yeah, they had to fight off that step out by Max and grab onto that throw triple loop landing a little bit. So a bit of a struggle throughout this program.
This showcasing a little of their vulnerability. However, I believe beyond the little mistakes here that there is Olympic moment in this short program. This short program moment, music is so powerful, the Carmina Burana, but I still have faith in it for this team. This isn't this dream skate. This isn't likely a competitive score, but I still believe in this program for this team.
They would love that dream skate now, but it's more important in February.
And now I suppose that you can see the despondency really from the team leaving the ice, that they don't let the less than stellar technical performance here ruin their mental trajectory in believing that they can still be contenders for Olympic gold. And what I love about this performance is the delicacy of this, the opening with the vocal. There's such stark contrast throughout the less than 3 minutes. No. And of the two, it would be Diana that struggled more with the triple toe in practice. She does. Maxime does not as comfortably as possible. And here, the throw triple loop, the fact that she is premature in stepping forward, the judges can see that that's not the landing that they were looking for. So they will lose grade of execution. And that's an inevitability. It has to be done. What is so amazing here about this backflip is the fact that at 42 years young, she's not scared to push herself. They're doing what they can to put themselves back in that mix as world-leading contenders. They're not resting on laurels or using old choreography. Diana just wouldn't do that.
No, they're breaking new ground and trying to step forward, if you will, and they've been sort of reinvented to a certain degree. The mistakes shadow, you know, the brilliance of the improvement so far this season, but and that'll show up in the scores here. But they're on their way. 74.26 is the best. This is a 71.07. It'll put them in second place.
And you can see the disappointment. Yeah. You can understand the disappointment, but hopefully it can turn into fuel for the free skate.
Well, third team in group number 1, representing Georgia, Anastasia Meltokina, Luka Burilova.
And having seen Dudek and Deschamps discussing their creativity, this too creative from the very start of the program as Metalkina and Burilova get ready. They, I believe, very much contenders for the title here.
They were junior world champions last year, 4th in senior. What will this year present as they start to skate to Bolero?
Immediately, great flow and glide, showcasing good skating skills into triple salcos. Great landing, a slight stutter for Luka on the throw. little mismatch in the timing of the crossovers.
Well, Mark, no major mistakes, some little things here and there, but a much improved presentation.
And this team has been vocal about how hard they have worked in the offseason. They're not holding back from their honesty in wanting to hunt down that Olympic medal. And you were discussing earlier, Ted, about how the Grand Prix final could shape the trajectory towards the Olympic Games. And that short program just continues what they already have, a belief in their potential.
And some skates here will make some teams worried moving towards Olympics, and some skaters or some teams gain confidence. And that's how that shift, that's why this competition is important to the lead up of the Olympic Games.
And perhaps that's the mental belief as well. And interestingly, on the back of their performances, which were tricky in Skate America, this team had said that they're happy the final is in Japan because they always skate well there. So they'd already got it in their psyche that this would be good skate, perhaps because of the location of the venue, but...
Well, they still have the free program to go. There's still more to come. But a solid skate here in the short program. Look at that opening position, not easy to maintain.
And again, that, further confirmation of them pushing themselves. Their side-by-side jumping passes, the triple salchos, in practice were easily the best of all the teams. And only a level 4 on their triple twist. Sorry, level 3 as opposed to the 4 that we saw from others, but good grade of execution. And you can see from Luca styling out a little trip, but Anastasia was indisputably comfortable on the throw triple flip.
Look at the unison here on those sit spins. And that group 5 reverse lift, so difficult on the entry.
And actually, I think, Ted, for this team, it's the lifts that are less strong. I think side-by-side jumping passes for Anastasia and Luca, arguably the best. The throws also, the lifts may be less confident. And, in an Olympic field that has such great depth and quality, we do have to look at the minutiae.
Well, their season's best 78.83. We'll see where this program will take that score. Will it draw a little bit short? Will it be enough to take the lead?
Well, for me, lead indisputable. The proximity of this score with the next 3 teams. That's what I'm intrigued to see as this event unfolds.
They have a 75.04. That is first in the short program so far. 3 teams yet to skate. And they look pretty happy with that. Nod of approval. They said, okay, that's not too bad. They know it was not their perfect skate. Is that yet to come down the road at a more important time?
As we head towards the next group, what makes this pairs event so exciting is the skaters are ranked based on how they performed in the previous Grand Prix series, but those first 3 teams are just as competitive with the next 3 teams to come.
It's a very, very tight field. You may not see that on this day or even in the free program, but throughout the year, there's still the European Championships, the 4 continents, the Olympic Games, and the World Championships yet to come. As we get introduced to our first team, representing Germany, Minerva, Fabian Hassa, and Nikita Volodin. Representing Italy, Sara Conti and Nicola Macchi. Well, they've got that introduction down just perfect. And the current world champions from Japan, Riku Miura and Ryuji Kihara. Is the pressure really on here at home?
Well, the Japanese Skating Federation and the organizers of this event couldn't have really pitched it any better with the starting order, with the Japanese world champions ending and rounding out this first section of the pairs program.
And which team do you think, not only here, these top 6, but in the world, have the most stress perhaps leading into the Olympic Games, or the lead up towards that? Does it these teams here?
Well, of all the teams, there are different considerations, of course. There has to be a discussion on Sara Conti and Nicola Macchi about Olympic participation in front of not just a home country crowd, but a hometown crowd. As we look to the Olympic discussion for this team is fascinating. Minerva Fabian Haza competed at the last Olympics in 2022 with her former partner. She was last in that event. Transcend 4 years later, and she finds herself now in the conversation for the top of the event. And certainly Minerva and Nikita have formed a perhaps somewhat unlikely alliance, whereby they have taken different techniques, different skating educations, and married them together so brilliantly in this Olympic cycle.
Yeah, if you hadn't said that, you wouldn't know it by looking at it.
Yeah, and this year they have been supported by the legend that is Katarina Witt, the two-time Olympic champion from the nation they represent, is supporting them both financially and with support in the Olympic season as well.
As we take a look at Sara Conti and Nicola Macchi of Italy.
Well, for this team, I said, of course, that they will be looking to compete in front of a home crowd. But the Olympics figure skating event in Italy, the last time in 2006, Torino, is what inspired Nicolo to ask his mum for skating lessons. Fast forward 2 decades, and now he, all being well, will be competing in a home Olympics, which is just a remarkable story of manifestation.
And will that repeat itself where other young Italian skaters get motivated by watching them or their other Italian?
Well, I suppose, and what makes it all the more amazing is that Sara and Nicolo, he was inspired to skate by the home Olympics, but there weren't Italian pair skaters as successful as them. They're constantly breaking new ground for Italian pair skaters.
And now is the pressure on really this team here, Riku Miura and Ryuji Kihara. They're two-time world champions, of course. They might be expected to be the Olympic champions, but the competition is so tight and so competitive.
Absolutely, and having just referenced the groundbreaking work of the Italians in pair skating, Miura and Kihara are the first Japanese team to win the pairs event. We've seen this amazing skating nation produce such epic results in singles, but Miura and Kihara are the groundbreaking trailblazers for Japan in this discipline. And now, if you were a betting person, you would assume that Miura and Kihara are the front runners. They have never been outside of the top 2 places at the World Championships within this Olympic cycle. They are the reigning world champions. Theirs is the crown to take, really.
There's so much at risk in a pairs event, of course. Just one mistake, no matter what you have done before, at the wrong time in the Olympic Games, can be so costly. That's what makes it so exciting.
Ugh. But when you say it like that, it makes me feel sick. Just thinking about the pressure on the teams and how they cope with that pressure is remarkable. And as we look at these top contenders in this hugely exciting season, we also just give a little shout out to Sui and Han, the reigning Olympic champions. I think few would have put them in the mix for 2026 Olympics, but they're back.
And I asked you off air, are there any other teams that, other than what we're seeing here, the top 6 out of the Grand Prix series, that might challenge for Olympic gold? And you came up immediately, of course, with Sui and Han, because they have that experience. They're a little rough, not rough, but you know, they were just getting their feet under them this season.
Yes, my belief is that Wei Shui was long since wanting her partner Song Han to return, and she managed to persuade him this year. They returned to competition a little unprepared, and perhaps the blessing for them is that they haven't made the final, and they have more training time, and they have, of course, to still confirm their participation at the Olympics, but you cannot discount them because they are the reigning Olympic champions.
Yeah, so folks, don't forget about that team. We don't see them here, but they're there, and they will be on their way, we assume, should they stay healthy, into the Olympic Games.
And as we look at Ryuichi Kihara just finishing his spin, he is in his home country and hometown.
Wow.
Such
last few moments. Words of encouragement or instruction, and not much needed for these senior seasoned competitors. But sometimes just those few words from the coach at the right time and the right tone can make the difference for an athlete. Look at Bruno Marcotte, the coach of this team here.
And you see the electrolytes, the drinks, everything at this level of competition is considered. The water consumption, it is as professional and business-like in our sport as that. You know, everything is factored and considered to give optimal Olympic brilliant quality.
When you really study the sport of figure skating at this level, there's so much more than the beauty and the physicality that you watch within a program, the preparation, the communication between coach and athletes, and the moment, and just how to get off the ice and have to wait for your performance for that long in a costume with your skates. Do I take them off? Do I not? There's so many small things that an audience never sees that can go into a deciding factor or a deciding decision. As we get set for the second group here, and it only gets more exciting, Mark. Our first team in group number 2, representing Germany, Minerva, Fabienne, Hassa, and Nikita Volodin.
Oh, how interesting to get a little insight into the connection and the story between Minerva and Nikita, performing to a piece of music specially created for them in conjunction with their choreographer, Marc Pilet and Paul Ball. This, a piece to fulfill the desire that Minerva has always had to perform tango. The work done by Maxime Rodriguez, the track titled El Abrazo. Minerva singles the intended side-by-side triple salcho's hugely costly mistake. Glorious throw triple loop.
Well, such a big mistake by Minerva on that solo jump, and I felt that that affected her at least to near the end of the program. She looked stunned by that and was not into the performance as deeply as Nikita.
Yes, and you know, no matter the professionalism, no matter the abject desire to push those program component scores, when a skater has such a hugely expensive mistake, energetically, it's so difficult to deliver with conviction. And she was obviously trying, but Minerva knows a single salcho invalidates. They lose an abundance of points, but they also, it's worse for the skater than the fall. To rotate and fall has more satisfaction for the skater. To pop, as we call it, to make it a single.
Well, it has more points. You know,
Yeah,
to turn
true,
a ball,
true.
right? So there's so much at stake there, and that's such a huge era. But
Well, and now as we look back at the beginning, you can see the investment energetically in Minerva. As we see the level 4, you can see the drop of the arms, a feature for Nikita. And again, now here, back 3, Mohawk entry, and a single salcho. It's just scarcely credible. And yet, recovering with the most juicy landing on the throw triple loop. And here too, the quality is indisputable, the effortlessness as I referenced. Ooh, a little too low on the back inside 10 spiral. So, the mistake of Diana Stellato-Dedek and Maxime Deschamps, the challenges that they had were less costly, but they had 2 minor mistakes. For Minerva and Nikita, 1 very big mistake. Where will this find the team?
well, their season's best is 77.61. They're going to fall quite short of that, but where will that place them? Find out right now. 71.68, that will put them currently into 3rd place. And they accept that. They know that that was a costly mistake that they made. Points were reduced. Here's a look at the top 4 teams so far. 2 to come.
Good connection from coach and partners there, in spite of the mistake.
Our next team represents Italy. Sarah Conti and Niccolo Macchi.
Sarah Conte and Niccolo Macchi.
And I understand Sara and Niccolo say the word assieme, and my belief is it's in Italian for together. The word they share before taking to the ice, together and united in their pursuit of glory.
73.69 is their season best, earning that in Japan at the NHK Trophy. They will skate and start their program to the Wild Bull.
One of the best throw triple loops I've seen from them all week. And they get their side-by-side triple saltos. just magnificent from the Italians, Sara Conti and Niccolò Macci. And if ever we can see what a clean skate does to the energy and commitment to performance, it was evident there. The landing of that triple salto ignited a passion in Sara particularly that was just invigorating to watch, and you sense it from our commentary position. I could just sense the excitement, and it has to be rewarded in the judges' program component scores.
Well, the program was fueled by increasing adrenaline of excitement with every landed element. And, wow, that was exciting to watch, and you could feel it in the building here. It's resonate through the audience.
And actually, what was great was that they were alive with energy for the step sequence. However, they regrouped for the penultimate element, the back inside death spiral, the difficult entry that they had there. They didn't allow it to override. It was just to me, seemingly the perfect combination of energy, but not lack of control.
Well, I don't know for sure, but I think you're going to see new leaders after that program. That was inspiring and beautifully delivered.
That is the best that I have ever seen Sara and Niccolò, and we've been through a journey with this team throughout this Olympic cycle. At one point, a couple off the ice, and then they had the hardships when that changed. Now, as I say, at CM, they are together, they are united, and they are, well, they were on fire there.
Determined. Look at that beautiful throw, triple loop, sail across the ice.
Barbara Luoni, the coach. And they knew then.
Oh, look at the confidence in
And they thought about reusing last year's Carmen program, which was such a great vehicle for them. But this year they created new material for the Olympic season, for that home crowd in Milano. And this modern passo created with Matteo Zani suits them perfectly.
That was an Olympic performance,
yeah,
really, in many ways. It's not the Olympic Games here, but they gave an Olympic performance.
I'm pretty sure they'd be happy to copy and paste that come February.
Barbarella, riprenditi!
Okay, there's a lot of people to thank. Sara says, okay, time to stop talking and let's concentrate on the score.
A lot going on, that's for sure. 73.69 is their season's best. Their lifetime best is 74.67. What will this be? Here it is.
I can't wait to see the reaction.
And there's a hint. It's a 77.22. It's a season's best. It's a personal best overall. That puts them in first place with the world champions up next. Wow.
That's a statement score in Olympic season.
Yeah. That's exciting. Does this affect Riku and Ryuichi on the ice right now, listening to that score, listening to the audience here at home? Did the blood pressure just go up? We'll find out. There they are. But they're world champions for a reason. They're calm under fire, but they'll need to deliver. The final skaters in the pair short program from Japan, Riku Miura and Ryuichi Kirihara.
And he from Nagoya. They had their tryout when they first decided to skate together in this city. And now they are back for the Grand Prix final.
Well, the moment is big and it's good practice here. Getting ready for the Olympics. They will skate to paint it black.
Far apart, and maybe a little question mark on the rotation of the triple toes. Wow. but clings on to the throw triple loops. Riko Miura and Ryuichi Kihara from Japan, and interestingly, I'm not sure if I read differently the reaction to the performance between the team. Riko Miura looking more elated, Ryuichi a little bit more conservative in his reaction to that short program. You can see why they are two-time world champions. I think there has to be a real deep dive now into both the technical element score and the program component scores for this performance, because there will be reviews on some of the technical element stuff. For me, from a program component scores perspective, the skating skills, probably the best. Composition, brilliant program. Presentation, not as much conviction as that of the Italians on this day.
Wow, there are 7 elements in this program, 4 are on review, so that can change and shift those scores, of course. And this is a brilliant, brilliant program, no question. But it was a little bit tight, just slightly tight. But you could see them fighting forward, and then something just small that most people wouldn't see, but just small little mistakes. Not mistakes,
no.
Really, just timing.
I feel like we see a default setting of their brilliance. So their baseline is of such brilliance, but it wasn't the dreamy skate that maybe the Italians had.
And you need to have that, well, not only here, but of course for the Olympic Games. It needs to be squeaky clean, perfect.
See, I don't know if that catch was totally clean.
It's a level 3, so missing one level.
There's a rotation issue there for Riko Miura. I'm sure the technical panel will just review that, and should that be the case, then she will drop in base value, and it has gone in as an under rotation. So confirmation that it wasn't ideal. And here, landing of the throw, squeaky.
They had to fight throughout that program, but this program skated perfectly clean. As we take a look at Coach Bruno Marcotte, this program skated clean, is Olympic potential champion, or certainly podium.
Yes, I think that if they don't lead the field on this day, it will be because of the technical element score mistakes. But to me, the step sequence was amazing. And how amazing, we won't maybe see it on these slow-mos, but that an outside spread eagle, which is a relatively simple element, could ignite the crowd the way that does. They take something relatively simple and have an audience in rapture as Ryuichi makes sure their coach Bruno gets his place on the couch with them.
Their performance level excites the crowd. It excites us. It had some mistakes. There's some small mistakes, 77.32. Wow, but that is first.
By a tenth of a point.
I didn't expect that. Not that it's wrong. It's right from the quality overall, but look how close it is. Essentially a tie, tenth of a point.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Exciting stuff.
Can you imagine the free program is going to be so exciting. 77. 32, 77-22, 75-04, your top three scorers as we take a look there at the final standings in the pairs short program. Okay, Mark, wrap it up.
Well, that was incredibly exciting. It wasn't, for me, the performance of the night absolutely goes to Sara Conti and Niccolò Macci, who gave, well, they're the team that come away from this event with a PB. So that indication that they were the ones that delivered their best on this day. But even with the mistakes of the other teams, whilst I would never wish that on any of them, it did make it incredibly exciting.
Yeah, it sure did. We'll see. I mean, so unpredictable. We talked about this. There's so many good teams, pair teams around the world. There's 6 nations in this one event. Anything can happen because it's so risky. And even with those little mistakes that didn't really matter in the past, you know, you land your element, it's okay. Every little edge or little shake does matter now for a GOE for quality. It can make the difference between a gold and a silver or a bronze.
Wow. The first senior event is underway. We've enjoyed performances in the junior Grand Prix final already, and now the senior categories have started, and now we look ahead to the men and the women. But first, chance to look back at the top 3 performances with Anastasia Metalkina and Luka Berolava, the Georgians, putting themselves in the mix. And they just over 2 points adrift from the lead, which is certainly distinctly still a possibility for the youngest of the teams competing. And as I say, for me, the performance of the night, Sara Conti and Niccolò Macci. As we look back, the throw, great as it was, there were better throws, there were better twists, there were better lifts in isolated elements, but they, on the whole, delivered the most cleanly today, and certainly they gave the most passionate conviction.
And the leaders, but barely.
Yes, Miura and Kihara, the world champions, and whilst it wasn't perfect, they have such an underlying quality across both the technical element score and their program component scores. And the audience in this IG arena would not have wanted any different a result as the homeboy takes the lead alongside his partner Riku Miura.
Well, that concludes our coverage of the senior pair short program here in Nagoya, the Grand Prix final. Up next, the senior men short program. We hope you'll stay with us and enjoy that.
去年は日本で試合にもショーにも出られなかったので、また来ることができて本当に嬉しいですとコメントしています。第4滑走は日本の第5滑走は日本の鍵山優真選手、グランプリシリーズ NHK 杯で1位、フィンランド大会で1位と2戦と